Russ, December is a bit of a funny month. What do you say to realtors about December?
Well, December is always, we see the numbers go down, and people say it's a slow month, but my experience with December myself is that the reason it's slower is that realtors back off. You've got a busy week, let's pick up those last gifts, let's do this, let's do that, so everybody start doing around.
Yeah.
And it was always one of my better months, but I remember when I was selling it, it was in the mid-90s, which goes back quite a ways now, but I was asked to do an open house in Wildwood on a brand new listing on Christmas Eve, and I laughed at the guy and said no.
Yeah, really. Who's going to show up on Christmas Eve?
Who's going to come? So he managed to get a new realtor, a brand new realtor, been in the business for less than 5 or 6 weeks kind of thing. And the new realtor went and sat the open house and sold the listing that day.
That night.
So my eyes again, I got kicked in the butt and said,
yeah,
you lazy, and don't think you know everything. So my experience with this has been, if you work, there's business there.
Right.
I remember a couple of years ago, Gary Brand did a deal on Christmas Day.
And you were on call, and he called you, right? Yeah.
I don't think... I just remember he did the deal on Christmas Day. So I'm sure he never called me until Boxing Day. But guys, give us a day or two off at Christmas, right?
Yeah, I'm on call this Christmas.
So...
which is totally fine. I'll just be cooking a turkey, so I'll be available.
We're available, but it's Christmas. Yeah. Christmas and Boxing Day are usually dead slow, as is Christmas Eve. The following day gets busy if there's a day in lieu. So, but we'll be around. There's always someone on call.
Yes, definitely.
So, in looking at that. So work over the holiday, you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
So
let's talk about oil prices. Or at least let me update you on the oil prices. Really not much of a change. We've seen a little bit of fluctuation up and down, but really it's still at about 57.35. And the dollar as well, not much happening there, so it's still at about 77, 78 cents. And you've probably heard about the stock market is showing a lot of activity today, and that is related to the U.S. tax reform bill being accepted, voted in, or voted out. And so there's a lot of interest about that as well.
But it has pushed the markets around pretty good. It's they're sailing up in record territory or close to it.
Just in time for a big crash.
Just in time, yeah. All righty. What about the number of listings? What's happening?
So Metro Calgary, we're looking at a bit of a downturn. So from 56.79 last week to 55.10 this past week. And Red Deer, we're at 603 listings versus 613. So not a big change there.
And pretty seasonal. I mean, a lot of people, we've had a lot of calls. What do I do to take my listing off for Christmas?
Exactly.
And here's the answer. There's a form that's a CREB withdrawal form. Get it signed, get it into your manager. We'll withdraw the thing for 10 days.
Maximum 10 days.
Maximum 10 days. So if they think through this and they say, okay, no showings after Friday, get the form signed, get it to your manager next Friday. We close at 1, so get it there early. And we'll get the listing withdrawn, and it can stay off until just prior to New Year's, or I didn't count out the days, but probably just into the new year, and then you can get it back on if you want it. So if your people want that. Now the other thing is, I've always felt that there'd be people in from out of town that maybe just taking a look and saying, well, what about moving to Calgary? What about doing this? I come back to where family is or whatever. So I like to be active over that time period, but there aren't a ton of showings.
There aren't a ton of showings, but you make a good point, because I remember someone saying to me when I first started, about the Christmas season and taking, or even just December, taking their listing off or letting it expire. And you know what? If there's buyers looking in December, that usually means they're serious.
Yes.
So you have some good, serious, qualified opportunities during that month. So if you can keep your listings active, if you can talk to your sellers and say, you know, we're not going to let just anybody come through on a listing, we'll definitely make sure they're very interested. It might be the sale that they've been looking for, so there's always that option.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing that sometimes happens is even if you do withdraw it, a serious buyer and their realtor may call you anyway.
Yes.
Because they know why it's been withdrawn usually over the Christmas
season.
They
can. You can search withdrawns as well.
Yeah, so that's a good point. If you've got a buyer and you're looking for something and you can't find it, look for the withdrawn ones.
Exactly.
In terms of the Calgary months of inventory, obviously, because there's been no real change, it's still the same. We're still looking at a balanced market. Total single-family homes is 3.04 as okay, so that looks different on our screen. 3.98.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New numbers.
Different to what I have on my notes here. Sorry about that. Surrounding areas, months of inventory. Can we go to that screen? Okotoks is down 5.53, and Cochrane is down as well. Cochrane's up 8.05. Sundre is up 12.67. Red Deer is up slightly, 5.80. Airdrie is down 5.08, which isn't a huge change, but Chestermere, they've got a little bit of a change there, and their listings are down 5.74. And Chestermere, they're sitting at 11.1 months of inventory.
Okay. Good.
Our benchmark price is unchanged, still the same at $436,700.
Yeah. So again, it's December. Don't look at the week-by-week stuff too close because it's really hard to follow. The lack of inventory is just people letting their houses expire. Remember watching a couple of weeks ago the December 1st meeting, or actually doing it and seeing all the listings that had dropped over the weekend. And it was huge. So things will turn around and get back active in January.